The breaking news is that France has just apologized to Africans. The question here is, how did they do that? And why are they apologizing? Many may say that they are apologizing because they have noted that Africa is waking up and Africa was their pillar. But that might not be the case. So how did this happen? It's not a long story, please let me explain. My name is Ontita Brandon, and welcome back to Teens Republic, the life-to-life educative channel. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel. We promise you will have the best videos for you to watch and learn. The hypocritical apology by the French President Emmanuel Macron to Africa for the evil and the atrocities he said France, like Britain and their other horrible allies, committed against humanity and the people of Africa during the colonial and slave trade era was provoking and unacceptable. Such high level of hypocrisy he demonstrated in that deceitful speech he called apology tells the mindset of many Western leaders in their dealings with Africa. Let me say that Macron acknowledges the evil of his colonial forefathers' exploitation of Africa for France's growth and acknowledges that injustice persists under his leadership. His apology to Africa was a deception causing disrespect and mockery of Africa. It is crucial to monitor this deception closely. The recent military coup in Niger exposed France's unethical role in Africa, as exposed by former African Union Ambassador Dr. Arikana Chihombori-Quao and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. Meloni publicly criticized France and Macron's double-standard game in Africa, calling for the end of exploitation and freeing people to profit from natural resources. However, it is hoped that Meloni's concerns for Africa's freedom from France are connected to the struggle for control of Africa and its resources by the Western world. The mission of the white man invading Africa thousands of years ago was to conquer, steal, exploit, and occupy the continent for his own development. All his deeds were centered only on what he could get from Africa and how to drain the continent for his sustenance. Everything he brought to Africa was evil and for his selfish interest. Sadly, his mission of exploitation centuries ago still remains the same today. The only change he altered was his strategy. While we all must condemn military coups, we must as Africans embrace the reality that the gathering of imperialists and the threat of military attack in Niger Republic by France, the US, Britain and their conspiring allies are not for the interest of Africa. These countries have a history of what Macron called evil that is still going on in Africa, and wherever they gather on issues concerning Africa, like it is currently in Niger Republic, is equaled to the Berlin Conference of 1884, where they came together and cruelly balkanized African territories for their interests. The leaders of these countries have no record of being fair to Africa or showing respect to African leaders, though African leaders have not respected themselves enough. They have never risked their soldiers before for the cause of Africa, and there is no evidence that they will gamble that now, or waste their resources to fight a war just for the benefit of Africa. No matter how such deception was cooked and presented, believe such illusion to your peril. The Niger Republic should be allowed to resolve its problems independently, similar to Russia and Ukraine. While military intervention is not a viable option for governance in Africa, Niger remains a sovereign state and requires no external intervention. The US, France and Germany should evacuate their military forces in Niger, as per the junta's orders, until normalcy and democratic rule are restored through peaceful negotiations with African leaders. ECOWAS should resist military action and avoid deceit to protect the region's security and peace. Dialogue and diplomacy are the only options for negotiating the military junta in Niger. The people of Niger are celebrating a military coup as a sign of leadership failure in a republic that is the sixth highest producer of uranium, but ranks seventh poorest. France has caused significant havoc in Africa, leading to people embracing the coup and seeing it as an alternative to democratic rule. However, they are tired of France's exploitation and rape of their economy, leaving them in poverty without resistance to their policies. Intruders threatening military attack are scared of losing control of Africa and want to guard their evil interests. They hide under a coded name and phrase, like they are trying to do in Niger Republic, under restoration of peace and protection of democracy in Africa. They target the uranium in Niger Republic, as well as their military bases and oil pipelines from Nigeria through Niger Republic, Uganda through Tanzania, and other African countries. It's a long story with hidden facts. Please subscribe for part 2